So we ready?
PS5 specs.
Yeah. Ready to get into it?
Ready to get into it.
So let's look at the PS5 specs.
Yeah, now, the original one was the GameSpot. They kind of switched it up on me, changed some stuff around. This one's more like the other one I read,
Right,
so we're doing
right.
some Games Radar, the Games Radar article. Now, you know, it is crazy to think about it. It's been 6 years.
Yes.
6 years since the PS4 was announced. And you know, that is one thing some people have complaints about with newer systems, is the lifespan seems to be a lot shorter now. What's up?
How we doing today?
We're back. Like and
If you
subscribe.
liked the first video, of course.
Yeah.
Now I do want to mention
It was
something.
a little more controversial, but
Well, what I do want to mention before we even start anything, and I'm going to mention this in the next video because we got 2 videos coming up today. We're doing for this playlist. We're doing gaming news.
Yeah.
And again, we're going to do screen capture and stuff like that, so you can see what we're talking about. But I'm going to go through MK11 whenever I get my capture card, whenever I get enough money to do that.
yeah,
And I'm going to record some gameplay of Mortal Kombat because I do want to give a fair review and gameplay of the game.
yeah.
Because just on its face, you would think I hate the game.
Well, that's something that we're going to try and do, regardless of what game we review, or we're going to be fair about it.
Well, yeah, I'm glad you said that. And I don't mean to cut you off, but the only thing I want to say is, to James's point, we want to be fair. Is the game good? Yes, it is. That's what's so disappointing. That's why I'm so upset.
Yeah.
Because I've been a fan of that Mortal Kombat series for 20 years. Well, yeah, about 20 years. Since I was 5 years old.
Yeah, since the mid-90s. Yeah.
And I feel like they're following suit with a lot of other companies where they don't care about fans. They just care about the money, and if you don't like what they have, they basically just tell you, well, then just don't buy it. And then they get mad when people don't buy it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't understand, and it makes me sad because Ed Boon's one of my favorite creators, and NetherRealm's one of my favorite studios.
And I'm playing through Kingdom Hearts 3 right now, and I'd definitely like to do a review of that when I get done with it.
Yes. It's just sad, man. I don't... Anyway, for the first video, we're going to get into some PS5 specs.
Yeah, the PS5 stuff, some of the stuff was, surprisingly, they've given out quite a bit of information about it. I'm surprised they have as early as it is.
Now, James knows more about this video because he researched it more, and I researched the microtransaction video.
Now, the original article I researched, this new article is gonna throw me off some, because the original article I researched, I read through and I memorized some stuff. And this one, everything's flipped around and different, so I'm just gonna have to kind of follow down through this article,
Well,
talk about some stuff with it.
whenever you get to a title, whenever you go through, I'll just follow along with you and just
Yeah.
kind of go off of what you say.
Yeah.
And I'll make sure the screen capture follows you. So whenever you're ready, just go off the title.
So it's crazy to believe. Well, okay, this is the which website is this again? This is the Games Radar article.
So we ready?
PS5 specs.
You
Yeah.
ready to get into it?
Ready to get into it.
So let's look at the PS5 specs.
Yeah, now, the original one was the GameSpot. They kind of switched it up on me, changed some stuff around. This one's more like the other one I read,
Right,
so we're doing
right.
some Games Radar, the Games Radar article. Now, you know, it is crazy to think about it. It's been 6 years.
Yes.
6 years since the PS4 was announced. And you know, that is one thing some people have complaints about with newer systems, is the lifespan seems to be a lot shorter now. I guess it just depends on how you think about it, but I don't know. Anyway,
Well,
the first thing they talk about is the release date and the price. Now, in 2018, Mark Cerny, I'm pretty sure that's how you pronounce his name.
do you want to go through the specs? Or do we even need to do that for people who are technical?
I mean, we can a little bit. I was going to talk about this first, I guess, since it was first on the article.
You talking about right under the PS5 release date, PS5 price?
Yeah, I was just going to
Okay.
do the release
Okay,
date. Now,
just
the
go.
original article I read,
Just make sure to read the title to me so I can follow.
yeah, PS5 release date,
Okay.
PlayStation 5 price. The original article I read claimed that there was no release date and no price. This seems to have, I don't know if this is just their guess. Now, in terms of the release date, their aim is 2021. So I remember in the original article I read, there was a quote by Mark Cerny, who's the main developer, the lead developer on the system. And he said in 2018 that they would need about 3 years to get the new system out.
Okay, so they've been working on it.
So they've been working on it since 2018.
Which is why we heard rumors a little bit last
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
So 2020 is probably going to be their kickoff time in terms of the promotion. them going out, showing it off. I've seen a couple images. I'm not sure if they're confirmed images of the PlayStation 5. Really sleek looking, really cool looking, if they are confirmed images.
So you can expect to see like one of these systems maybe being showcased at a convention or something
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
and of course, you know, as soon as Sony starts
Yeah,
talking about
Microsoft's
already come out now talking about their next Xbox. So I'm trying to think of what else. Oh yeah, 2021 is the where they're aiming for the release date. I'm assuming it's going to be later in the year, probably closer to Christmas, kind of like the PS4 was. That's just my assumption of what they're going to do. In terms of price tag, I don't think anything's really set. The guy that wrote the article seems to kind of give a few guesses and predictions. Let me see, where does it say?
What are you looking for?
The price, I saw it on here somewhere.
It's down. I'm looking at it right
The
here.
specs and performance,
Yeah.
I guess it's down there, right, in that area.
We can refer where it talks as for the PS5 price, a little bit low. Peter Rubin, it's in orange, right by the best new games of 2019 and beyond.
Go ahead and read it.
As for the PS5 price, we can refer to a report from NDTV's Gadgets 360 citing a deleted Reddit post in r/Xbox One. I'm assuming that's a Reddit. Well, it just said a Reddit post. Reddit post based on claiming a shelf price of $399, and it said at the very top of the article it said $400. But I mean, I think that's a decent price, especially with
If
the
that's
PS4.
the price,
Yes,
if that's the price. How much did we pay for the PS4 when it first came out?
same price.
It was right around the same price, right?
It was the exact same.
So in terms of if they're right about that,
That's good.
and they keep it on that, that's really, really good considering the microprocessing power, stuff like that the PS5. Okay, so something else I read in here, I don't remember exactly where it was at, but they said that when the PS4 was announced, some of the specs and stuff they were using in it were about already 3 years old at the time they were creating it, so from like 2010 in terms of PC gaming. So these new specs are expected to be more modern.
Now let me read this to you.
Yeah.
Now this, I don't know if this is going to be concerning to some people, maybe not. Again, this is based on hearsay from certain people, but so a Reddit user named Nova Mombasa, I hope I pronounced that right, says the PS5 was pushed back from its initially planned release date, explaining that the target was 2019,
Wow.
but
Okay.
that Sony had to delay the console for some unknown reason. I don't know the actual date the user added. Can be early 2020. Which
They
I don't
They
wanna-
don't need to push it out that fast.
Well, do you remember when the PS4 came out and people were a little confused why it came out so early?
Yeah.
At least they weren't really surprised. They didn't want it out that soon.
Yeah, they didn't want it out
Because
that
there were
fast.
still some good games coming out on the 360,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is the system we had. And you eventually got a PS3,
Yeah.
and they were talking about these consoles. I remember when the Xbox One was announced with the Kinect and the $500 price range, and it was like a whole entertainment system, and people were upset about that. And then the PS4 dropped its stuff at $400, which
Yeah.
is why we decided to get it. Because
Yeah, because the price dropped.
the price dropped, and we thought, Sony. I mean, excuse me for saying this, people just don't. But we're partial to Sony products just because we feel the technology a little bit smoother. That's just our.
That's my opinion, yeah.
That's just our opinion. If you're comfortable with the Xbox, then I mean, my dad has an Xbox One, so does your dad.
Yeah.
But I mean it. Now, in terms of entertainment system, that might be better.
Probably.
Whole entertainment
yeah,
system.
whole entertainment
But
system. Probably.
and that's what they designed it for.
Especially now that they've implemented the Blu-ray player into it,
So, yes.
which, the PlayStation originally only had that.
Now,
I'm not super good with the technical stuff.
But-
I don't know as much as some people would.
No, I don't either.
So
The
go
only
ahead.
thing I was getting at was, do you remember when the PS4 came out? And there were the launch titles
Yeah.
for each system.
Yeah.
They're terrible,
They were.
and the games they came out with were terrible.
Yeah.
And people were really upset. It almost felt forced, and I don't want that to happen with this one.
I agree.
Seeing as how there's apparently quite a lot under the hood of PS5, I'd wager it'll be around $500. Time will tell. Well, I sure hope not, because that extra $100, I don't know.
So, I mean, okay, it has kind of a list of the specs. Now, these are leaking, I put that in quotes, leaking Reddit posts. It doesn't say who the Redditor was that posted it. But,
So these are the specs,
so
right?
these are basically the specs. You go down a little bit further, they're kind of listed
Needs
there.
8K?
Yeah, CPU, custom 8-core, 16 threads in, 2 CPU. I'm not 100% sure about all that.
No.
Like I said, I don't know the technical stuff as much.
PC gamer would know the specs more here than
Now, I do know that the graphics they were talking about, the custom Navi 8 plus teraflop graphics, they said were being designed, I think, specifically for the PS5. So it was almost like, I guess they're in development of 8K TVs now.
Okay,
So
so
they could be up to 8K.
I would see the price range being around $500.
RAM 12 gigabyte, storage 1 terabyte. And if they release every system with that, because the current PS4, the original ones we bought are the 500 gigabytes, right? And some of the games are so big.
The only positive I can say about that is what they have now is they have the cloud. So when you delete a game, when you go back and re-download it,
True.
all of your stuff
all
goes
of your
back.
stuff gets saved.
The only thing that doesn't that I saw was, and I don't mean to harp on this anymore, but Mortal Kombat, when I deleted it in Mortal Kombat X, all my stuff, even the crypt stuff, was gone.
Everything?
Everything. Didn't save to the cloud.
That's crazy.
So I'm afraid to even delete.
Now, this price they talk about, $399, I definitely don't see it being that low. There's no way. If it's that price, it's easily the best system.
To work for the PS5?
Yeah,
I see it coming out as $500.
probably.
And
I would bet 500.
I'm probably going to have to wait a whole year before I get it. And that sucks. But I guess we'll see. Maybe we'll be making some money by then. I don't know. We'll see.
I was kind of going down through. I'm not really sure a whole lot what else to talk about with
It
this.
goes into the chip. It goes into the different processing speeds. But let's go to the very
Now, one thing I will say about the price is something I just found here.
at the very bottom.
So yeah, towards
Yeah.
the very bottom. That Sony announced when they announced the PS4 Pro, journalists and analysts were skeptical that a console under 500 would be powerful enough for 4K gaming. Well, the price tag was $399 on the PS4 Pro, and it's powerful enough for 4K gaming. So I guess that $399 price tag is a possibility.
Well, here's the full rundown, courtesy of Gadgets 360. It shows it right here. CPU, custom 8-core, 16-thread. Again, I don't know too much about this. Graphics, custom Navi, 8 plus teraflops. I mean, the RAM 12 gigabytes. I do know that's good because I run on a PC. I mean, you won't get RAM, but storage 1 terabyte. Now, I don't know how many gigabytes,
A game's going to be.
A game's
True,
gonna
you
take
don't
up.
know. Because they're already big, heck, some of them are.
and the price is. They're rumored to be $399.
And something else that they talk about, if you go down a little further, the next part of the article, they're talking about it if it's going to be just a standard console or maybe a handheld hybrid, kind of like Nintendo does with the Switch and stuff like that. Now, none of that's confirmed or even being talked about, but Sony and Nintendo have their little rivalry they like to do with each other.
Now, here's what's crazy. No matter how powerful you may not be able to find this with me, but
Go ahead.
no matter how powerful the Radeon 7 may be, it's worth noting that the graphics card costs $700 alone that they're putting in the PS5.
Wow.
So if it's $400, this is the best system.
Yeah, that means they're investing in...
Okay, I shouldn't say that because the Xbox One hasn't announced anything.
True.
I should hold off judgment, but that's really good news. Is
It
what I
is.
should
It's
say.
huge news. Two other things...
If it's true.
that I read about before that I want to mention, and actually is mentioned on here. I didn't know if it was in this article or not. Backward compatibility is going to be allowed. That was confirmed. PS4 games are going to be able to be played. The reason they said the reason for that the PS3 games weren't and the PS4 games are going to be backwards compatible is because the specs for the PS5 are going to be closer to the PS4 than the PS3 was to the PS4 in terms of spec jumps. So backwards compatibility is going to happen, and that's really good. I like that because it allows people to buy the system, and they don't have to immediately go out and buy new games.
Right.
They can play some of their older games until they get enough money to go out and buy some new games. So which helps. And another big thing they're pushing is the PlayStation VR. I think they're considering putting the VR with each system. Selling it with each system with the standard system.
Kind of like the Kinect.
Kind of like the Kinect with the Xbox, yeah. So I know
at
they're really
$400
liking the PSVR right now.
At $400 for all this stuff?
If you get all that for $400, that's amazing. That's ridiculous.
I would assume $500, wouldn't you? I mean, I don't want it to be.
I would assume $500. but I mean, I don't know. Excuse me, I'm sorry. And then it kind of goes into the the 4K TVs.
Yeah, see, I'm getting concerned now. That's my only concern.
That's something you were talking about.
Are we gonna have to buy a 4K TV now? Do you have to?
It doesn't specify. I don't think you will. I don't think they'll force people to do that, because then I think they would lose a lot of business regardless of the price of the system. So, 4K TVs have been around for a while now. They are a little cheaper.
They're $500, $600.
I mean, but they're not at a price where I want to go out and buy one. I don't even have the money to buy one right now. So I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll keep the standard HD.
It goes on to talk
with
about
the possible 4K, if you believe.
And it goes on to talk about what TVs are best for it. I'm not
Yeah.
going to get into that. If you want to look at, all I want to do is talk about the PS5 specs and just some of the rumors about them.
Now the OLED TVs are the ones they consider, not just them, but I'm talking about just in terms of gaming. Those are the ones that people consider the best ones.
Now, we talk about PS5 launch titles, and that's the last thing I want to get into.
Now, I was going to mention, they were talking about, I think for their launch titles for this, I didn't see it
that's what I
here,
was
but it
gonna
was in
get
the
into.
other article. Was there something in here about it?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
They're thinking the possible, Death Stranding, Cyberpunk 2077,
Which would be a big one.
Dragon
Now,
Age.
would Cyberpunk be, I don't know, I was going to ask if it would be for both systems, but you wouldn't know that.
Dragon Age 4, and The Last of Us Part 2.
Now, something I was going to mention was, I know that...
And Final Fantasy 7 Remake.
Okay, so they're saving that for the PS5. A lot of people have been wondering about that game and when it's going to come out. I know they wanted to do quite a few, what's the word I'm looking for? When they make their own games for their own system.
Launch titles?
Well, but it's...
Exclusives?
Exclusives. They're wanting to do some Sony exclusives, I know, for the PS5 too. They were talking about in the other article I was reading.
Here's my thing. I hate exclusives. Let me tell you why. I think it keeps other... I think it holds back the industry. And the reason why I think that, for one, other people can't take part in the joy that you are.
True.
So let me just go into this, because I know there are some people who get really offended at things like that. I just feel like when other people can't enjoy the same game you do, it hurts the overall market, because people aren't buying it. And the counter argument to what I'm saying is, people say, well, it causes people to buy, it creates a competitive market, and it causes them to make games for their systems only, and it makes them make those games good, so people want to go out and buy those systems. I've never been one to say that one game should sell a system. It shouldn't. If you buy a $400 system for one game, to me that's ridiculous. And maybe that's why I'm a little partial. I can't afford a good PC to where I want it to run the way I want it to run.
Yeah.
For games.
And I don't know how to build my own.
And I just don't know how. Maybe I should go out there and research it. I do know PC games and I almost said consoles.
I feel like PC gamers are like the most hardcore of all time.
And PCs in general are the best gaming setups you can come up with if you can get everything. Because all you have to do to update your stuff is to go buy something to update your computer.
Yeah.
You don't need to buy a whole new console.
True.
You already have one.
Yep.
You just rebuild certain parts of it, and now you can play the new games. That's why PCs are better.
True.
But for the people who and I played console all my life, that's just why I
That's
stick
just
with
what
console.
I played.
That's what I'm comfortable with. But if you want to have the argument,
Yes.
PCs are
The best.
perform better.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just...
Something I was going to mention, you were talking about exclusives. The main reason I ended up buying a PlayStation 3 was to play The Last of Us. That's it. I wanted to play that game.
Yeah, and they came out with the remake.
And then they came out with the remake for the PlayStation 4, so I mean, I don't,
But I don't... Is there anything else from the article that you want to go over?
I don't think so. I think that was pretty much it. This was just kind of a rundown of some of what you can look forward to. We even talked about some launch titles, possible launch titles. There wasn't really a whole lot else. Like I said, having to switch articles kind of screwed me up a little bit, but I mainly wanted to mention the backwards compatibility, the VR stuff, because in terms of the technical RAM and gigabytes, and I mean all that stuff, the optimization. I don't know a whole lot about the technical side of things. I know a lot of people do, but I don't.
Now, you know, there's not. I don't think there's anything else we want to get into. The thing I do want to mention is if it's 8K. I mean, if it's good enough to play like in 8K, even if you don't have a 4K TV, if you don't need that, the stuff's still going to look unbelievable.
No, it
I'm
is.
sure the
It's
games are
gonna
going
look
to be
ridiculous.
good. It's to me it sounds exciting.
I guess one last thing I'll mention is I know Sony's pushing their PlayStation View and PlayStation Now stuff really hard. I'm sure those are going to be big aspects of the PlayStation 5. I'm not I'm not paying for any of that stuff right now. Would I in the future? Probably. But I don't know. I like the fact that it's backwards compatible. That's a big thing for me.
Yes,
I think that helps people transition easier
it does.
to new consoles.
Oh, was the PS4 backwards compatible?
No.
That was another thing you were really upset about. I remember that.
Yeah, because I had so many PS3 games that I loved.
Because I remember for a while you said I'm not going to be able to get this console for another year until
Yeah.
next Christmas. Because
Yeah.
I remember when I got it, and you were a little bit upset, and I was too, because me and you always
Played games together.
Yeah.
Yep.
and you were sitting there saying to yourself, even if I get this, I can't even play my old PS3 games.
hmm Mass Effect is the main one. That's the one I wanted. Still don't know why they haven't done a remaster, but whatever.
Anyway, guys, that's it with our PS5 specs
Yeah.
and talk.
Our next one, our next video for today is going to be a little bit more, I guess, controversial.
It's not going to be
Could
real.
the
Well, yeah, but
It's going to go into a subject that a lot of people have opinions about. Let's
Yes.
just put it that way.
just we'll say microtransactions. But and there's a big one that's just out now again.
Yep.
With Mortal Kombat. It's sad, but anyway, guys, that's it with Cody and James Common Sense Gaming. Make sure to like, subscribe.
Make sure to hit that notification bell. All of our social media links are going to be down
Yeah, it's
in
gonna
the
be down in the
description.
description.
So go follow us there. We'll update like when we post new videos, especially when we start getting more and more followers. And I guess the only last thing to say is Thanos.
And leave us a comment.